Do you buy the idea that free buses would make them faster?
No.
Why not?
Because more people will ride them, so they'd be even more crowded and take longer to load them.
How do you answer that?
Because it can't just be making it free alone. You have to be making it free while actually making the infrastructure for it to be fast. So you have to increase service alongside making it free and ensure that there's full use of all-door boarding. Because a lot of the issues of the dwell time at the bus stops is because everyone has to go through the front door. No one's allowed to go through the back door, even though this was something the MTA proposed more than a decade ago. And in Boston, when they did this, they decreased dwell time by 23% on a single route just by making all-door boarding a part of it.
But isn't that an MTA thing that you as mayor can't control?
Well, we saw with Mayor Bloomberg, he was the mayor of New York City, he built an entire subway station because that's how much he believed in the extension of the 7 train to Hudson Yards. The city has a lot of ability to influence what the MTA does. It's just that we haven't had a mayor who actually cares that much about the slowest buses in the United States.
A day after his big victory, New York's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani says he's got a clear mandate and he plans to use it. He's promising affordable housing, rent freezes, and free buses. He's just announced his transition team, but as mayor, his actual powers are limited. So can he really deliver? He wants a 4-year rent freeze on the city's 1 million rent-stabilized flats. But to make that happen, he'll need approval from the city's Rent Guidelines Board. And current mayor Eric Adams could still appoint new members before leaving office to make it harder. He also wants to make public buses free and faster, a plan he says would cost around $630 million a year, though some officials put it closer to $1 billion a year. To pay for it all, Mamdani wants to raise corporate taxes and add a 2% surcharge on anyone earning over $1 million. But the governor and state legislature would have to agree, and Governor Kathy Hochul's made it clear she's against new taxes ahead of her own election.
Yes, it didn't even last up to 1 week. Now, these people are realizing something that they were all scammed. What this guy promised during his campaign, he knows fully well that he will be unable to do it. Democrats on social media, let me say liberal influencers on social media are putting out videos upon clips that I've seen. It is important we take an exclusive look into all these.
Check out this video really quick.
Starting on day 1, we will expand the city's special enforcement programs, doubling fines for hazardous violations and tripling them for conditions that are immediately dangerous. And when a really bad landlord, like this guy, refuses to fix it, the city's going to step in, make the repairs, and send them the bill. If that doesn't work, the city's taking over the building. We're putting the worst landlords out of business.
So this is his plan. He's going to take away the building if the landlord can't afford to make renovations. The city will step in and do it, but then they'll take away the building if the landlord can't afford it. But at the same time, he's doing rent freezes. He's going to freeze rent so landlords can't raise rent. So how are they supposed to pay for it? Like if there's a major problem with the apartment complex, how are they supposed to pay for it? And if they can't afford it, and the only way that they can is to raise rent. But no, he froze the rent. You know, materials are going up, labor is going up. What's going to happen? They'll pay for it, the city. But then, no, if you can't pay me back, I'm going to take away the building. This is a slow, over time, slow transition into government housing. And what does that sound like if the government's going to be owning all these buildings? Communism.
Yes, there is something more concerning. Governor Hochul, she made a bigger, a mistake to endorse this guy. Now, there are a lot of things that he said he would do. She doesn't agree with him. But during that campaign period, she was all for him. That should tell you a lot about these people, how they all just want power. She is now going against certain things this guy said because of her upcoming elections. That should tell you something. I saw this coming. Democrat can do just to gain power. Now she's suddenly changing her tone. I was shocked when I saw it. I told someone, you see what I was saying? It's crazy, right?
His agenda is incredibly ambitious. It is, as he has described it, a democratic socialist agenda. Free childcare, free buses, rent freeze. The list goes on. I talked to him on Monday night. He said to me he hasn't wavered 1 millimeter on raising taxes on New York City's wealthiest residents to pay for some of that. Now, Governor, you have said repeatedly that you would not raise taxes. You said, quote, I've said there's no new income taxes. Do you stand by that promise?
Yes. Again, what I find so fascinating is all this conversation about how I'm continuing to lead New York State. I'm the one putting money back in people's pockets and cutting middle-class taxes, as I've done, and finding ways to support child care. These are areas where I'm aligned with Zohran Mamdani. And we'll work on this and build more housing so people can have a roof over their heads. And
apparently real socialism hasn't been tried, and I shouldn't be comparing Mamdani's policies to countries like Venezuela, Cuba, or the Soviet Union. Okay, fine then. Let's look at some of Mamdani's promises and compare them to countries that have tried real socialism. Starting with universal healthcare in Canada and the insanely long wait times for care. If you want a referral to see a specialist in Canada, you will be waiting an average of 11 weeks. In the US, the average is only about 4 weeks. If you're in Canada, you're waiting for an average of about 6 months, where in the US, you're only waiting an average of about 6 weeks. I mean, the wait times in Canada are so bad that the government is paying.
Yes, there is something I realize with people who voted for this guy. They are not intelligent enough. He sees them like they are dumb. There are things he promised, knowing fully well that it will be unable for him to go through with it. Look at what the governor is saying here. Totally contrary to a lot of things he promised. Free buses, this. You know, I always like to know a true politicians by some of these things like this. This has actually opened my eyes to some of these people. If you are a Democrat, if you haven't realized that this guy just said some of these things to get elected, then I don't know if you understand exactly what is even going on.
course we can. And
What
so
about childcare, though?
childcare, I already committed to. So we'll be on a path to get there because I'm committed to this as a mom governor. I get it, but also to do it statewide right now, it's about $15 billion.
That did not support him because he said on stage that he is not pledging to, quote, remake City Hall in his likeness. Here's what he had to say.
I've said throughout the entirety of this campaign that this is a campaign to bring the struggles of working New Yorkers back to the focus of our politics and to ensure that City Hall is seen as a place that not only recognizes those struggles, but actually delivers on the material needs of those working people.
Yes, I believe you heard that. His fans are not happy that this governor is willing to help him execute all his promises.
We don't put up with a lot of crap. So I just want to set the stage that, you look at the history of people who've run multi-million-dollar ad campaigns to try and get me to change my position. I don't change my position. So I just want to put it out there. I respect people's opinions. I respect the proper place to convey them. And so I've said to people, I hear you. And that was important. But also, there's a time and place. And so that's all on that. No, I've had conversations on this trip, but many conversations, I'd say over the summer and the fall.
Walking in front of a crowd of Puerto Ricans and New Yorkers, she was greeted with chants of tax the rich, and she responded,
Hear you? But I'm the type of person, the more you push me, the more I'm not going to do what you want. Okay? So little lesson to all of our friends out there. But
She then doubled down in a press conference that she did after that.
I don't change my position. So I just want to put it out there.
Then she went on CNN and said this.
His agenda is incredibly ambitious. It is, as he has described it, a Democratic socialist agenda. Free childcare, free buses, rent freeze. The list goes on. Now, Governor, you have said repeatedly that you would not raise taxes. You said, quote, I've said there's no new income taxes. Do you stand by that promise?
Yes.
The affordability crisis in New York City and the New York State. But privately, you're going to block them the entire way.
Let's wait. I think I'm going to end here. God bless you. Please share the video. And as of the short clips, that is for the YT algorithm.
Mamdani! Dios me libre! Oh my God! This is comunista! This is socialista comunista!
Good morning, New York City. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again.
He has been a master, and frankly, he could do a master class for all Democrats.
This has nothing to do with the midterms.
What it
taught us is that the Democratic Party is a big tent party. With that?
I mean, these are off-year elections in blue states, and I was expecting Democrats to win. They run California. New York City is a liberal city. It's easy to overread this. I wouldn't overread it. Virginia, in particular, has never been a great bellwether.
And by extension,
it voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, who is not a moderate president.
3 times.
3 times.
This let me know one thing. This ain't got nothing to do with color. This ain't got nothing to do with color. It's either God's side or Satan's side.
And that was my first instinct to have more Republicans on the show, but they don't want to come on. They're scared of us.
History.
Point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic. He even gets an off.
If the Democrats...
Because how many times do somebody asks?
4.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States. If you want to serve in the American...
Give interviews, I don't do that.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States.
Happening at the moment.
Yeah. President Obama.
Is blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC.
I want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Well, Americans, it's a part of who we are.
because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show.
To spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not all the same people that are in these polite...
Disagree with Gavin Newsom said that he doesn't.
Dave Chappelle.
Without of interest.
I mentioned last night Trump was bragging about how...
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Peggy D.
Many were surprised to see Darth Renner
Between now...
for editing an interview.
But it's a great policy. If you're